incivility, treachery, misfortune, cheating, quarrel, vanity will on but next three. Therefore, O friend of religion, you do not deserve to remain in a place where experts perform sacrifices according to truth and religious principles for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah. Because if you stay, then working for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord will become very difficult. So especially those who are on those who are executive heads, those who are in a leadership position. So if they are affected by the age of Kali, it's like they are not following forward to principles. Then automatically greed, falsehood, robbery, instability, treachery, misfortune, cheating, quarrel, all these things come in picture. So they have to be like protected from all these things. If they are not protected from all these things, then there is a trouble for rest of the people. Because there are a lot of things which are in control of the government. Government can, so really speaking, it is Kshatriyas who are most influences. Although Brahmanas have knowledge, but Brahmanas can influence people only when Kshatriyas allow it. So if you see Srimad Bhagavatam is also more of a story of or a lineage of Kshatriyas. Because Kshatriyas have power. You have all the Radha Rishis being talked about in the Srimad Bhagavatam. We don't hear about any Brahmanas there. Hardly any talk about Brahmanas. Right? Because Kshatriyas have power. Kshatriyas have power and Kshatriyas can change the things. Kshatriyas can decide what to teach to people, what to influence, etc. Like at a point of time also we should think maybe it is the education which influences. But Kshatriyas can choose what to educate and what not to educate. So recently we have one devotee, what is his name? Prabhu was part of changing of curriculum.
Prabhupada Priya.
Prabhupada Priya Prabhu. So Prabhupada Priya Prabhu was a part of, now they are going to change the syllabus in India. So they are going to inculcate a lot of Vedic principles in India, syllabus of India. So he was a part of that team, Prabhupada Priya Prabhu. So government wanted it, they changed it. So they have a lot of power what to educate. So they have to be pure. So that's why he said, you can't stay in my place. Not possible. Please read.
In all the sacrificial ceremony, although sometimes a demigod is worshipped, the Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead is worshipped because He is the super soul for everyone and exists both inside and outside, like the air. Thus, it is He only who awards all welfare to the worshipper. 35. Sri Sudapur Swami said, the personality of Kali, those being ordered by the Maharaja Kalki, begin to tremble in fear, seeing the king before him like a Maharaja, ready to kill him. Kali spoke to the king as follows: Your Majesty, thought I may live anywhere and everywhere under your order. I shall but see you with bow and arrow wherever I look.
So you are saying, well, you can't stay in my kingdom. Okay, if I go out of my kingdom, then also I see you. You are always carrying bow and arrow and now chasing behind me. So where should I go? I want a relief in life. It's like, no, you are there, service authorities behind you. You feel so scared. Yeah. Yes, please read 37.
Therefore, O chief among the protesters of religion, protectors of religion, please fix some place for me where I can live permanently under the protection of your government.
So fix some permanent place for me. Not that say that you can't live here. You can live anywhere else. What is this? I see you anywhere. So at least fix some places where I can reside. So now, Sut uvacha
Sudavacha
abhyartitastada tasmai
अभ्यर्थितस्तदा तस्मै
sthanani kalaye dado
स्थानानि कलयितौ
द्यूतं पानं स्त्रियासूना
युगपानं स्त्रियासूना
यत्र धर्मश्चतुर्विधः
यथा धर्मशत्रुभ्यः
Sutta Goswami said, Maharaj Parikshit, thus being petitioned by the personality of Kali, gave him permission to reside in places where gambling, drinking, prostitution and animal slaughter were performed. The basic principles of irreligiosity, such as pride, prostitution, intoxication and falsehood, counteract the four principles of religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy and truthfulness. The personality of Kali was given permission to live in four places, particularly mentioned by the king, namely the place of gambling, the place of prostitution, the place of drinking and the place of animal slaughter. Srila Jiva Goswami directs that drinking against the principle of scriptures such as Sautramani Yajna, association with women outside marriage and killing animals against the injunction of scriptures or irreligious. In the Vedas, two different types of injunction are there for the pravritas or those who are engaged in material enjoyment and for the nivritas or those who are liberated from material bondage. The Vedic injunction for the pravritas is to gradually regulate their activities towards the path of regulation. Therefore, for those who are in the lowest stage of ignorance and who indulge in wine, women and flesh, drinking by performing Sautramani Yajna, association of women by marriage, and flesh eating by sacrifices are sometimes recommended, such as recommendation in the Vedic literature are meant for a particular class of men and not for all. But because they are injunctions of the Vedas for the particular type of person, such activities by the pravritas are not considered adharma. One man's food may be poison for others. Similarly, what is recommended for those in the mode of ignorance may be poison for those in the mode of goodness. Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu therefore affirms that recommendation in the scripture for a certain class of men are never to be considered adharma or irreligious. For such activities are factually adharma and they are never to be encouraged. The recommendations in the scriptures are not meant for the encouragement of such adharma, but for regulating the necessary adharma gradually towards the path of dharma. Following in the footsteps of Maharaj Parikshit, it is the duty of all executive heads of states to see that the principle of religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy and truthfulness are established in the state, and that the principle of irreligion, namely pride, illicit female association or prostitution, intoxication and falsity are checked by all means, and to make the best use of a bad bargain. The personality of Kali may be transferred to the places of gambling, drinking, prostitution and slaughterhouses. If there are any place like that, those who are addicted to these irreligious habits are regulated by the injunction of the scripture. In no circumstances should they be encouraged by any state. In other words, the state should categorically stop all sorts of gambling, drinking, prostitution and falsity. The state which wants to eradicate corruption by majority may introduce the principles of religion in the following manner.
Yeah, so now many people say that we want to get rid of corruption. So everywhere there's a talk throughout the whole world. Government is corrupt, this fellow is corrupt, that fellow is corrupt. Prabhupada is giving points.
Ekadashi fasting.
So to stop corruption. Please read the point.
To compulsory fasting days in the month, if no more austerity, even from the economic point of view, such two fasting days in a month in the state will save tons of food. And the system will also act very favorably on the general health of the citizens.
Yeah, but not like Fishtimon Ekadasi, Pashtimon Ekadasi. Yeah.
That's more costly.
Most good. Now sometimes we have Ekadasi days which have more budget than the ordinary days in the kitchen.
Yeah. Peace. Maybe.
Please read.
There must be
There must be compulsory marriage of young boys and girls attaining 24 years of age and 16 years of age respectively.
So boys 24 years. So if they are not going to be in Brahmacharya ashram, they also get married, and girls 16 years.
now not possible.
Indian law means 18 years is minimum. Sorry, maximum.
There is no harm in co-education in the schools and colleges, provided the boys and girls are duly married, and in case there is any intimate connection between a male and a female student, they should be married properly without illicit relation. The Divorce Act is encouraged prostitution, and this should be abolished.
No diapers.
Read. It's something very heavy Prabhupada.
The citizens of the state must give in charity up to 50% of their income for the purpose of creating a spiritual atmosphere in the state or in human society, both individually and collectively. They should preach the principles of Bhagavatam by A. Karma Yoga, or doing everything for the satisfaction of the Lord. B. Regularly hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from authorized persons or realized souls. C. Chanting of the glories of the Lord congregationally at home or at places of worship. D. Rendering all kinds of service to Bhagavatas engaged in preaching Srimad Bhagavatam. And E. Residing in a place where the atmosphere is saturated with God consciousness. If the state is regulated by the above process, naturally there will be God consciousness everywhere. Gambling of all description, even speculative business enterprise, is considered to be degrading, and when gambling is encouraged in the state, there is a complete disappearance of truthfulness. Allowing young boys and girls to remain unmarried more than the above mentioned ages and licensing animal slaughterhouses of all description should be at once prohibited. The flesh eaters may be allowed to take flesh as mentioned in the scriptures and not otherwise. Intoxication of all description, even smoking cigarettes, chewing tobacco, or the drinking of tea must be prohibited.
Even India is far away from that. Even India is far away from
Yeah.
that.
If you tell them that, they'll say you are crazy.
Drinking of tea.
Does herbal tea count as drinking tea?
No.
Okay, fine.
Don't worry. Yeah. Herbal tea means we don't drink tea because of intoxication. So basic problem is intoxicants are there. So they have this nicotina, tegrina, nicotina tobacco. These chemicals are there in the tea and coffee. And that is the reason devotees don't take chocolates also.
In India. In India.
In India, in the West, it's
Quote
allowed.
unquote.
The GBC.
Quote unquote.
What Prabhupada say here, Prabhu, like when the must be compulsory marriage, when ISKCON didn't follow that. Yeah. What to do?
Standards are set. It's like standards are this high. We try to come up to the standard gradually. Not that we bring down the standards. So fine, we are not up to the standard, we'll try to come to the standards as Prabhupada has said. If we can't come up, we should try to come up. But we should not justify by saying, no, bring the standards now. That's not proper.
We have to go.
We have to go.
Can you explain how pride is destroying austerity?
Okay. how pride is destroying austerity. So austerity means controlling mind, controlling senses. But as soon as a person is proud, it's like he thinks that I can do anything.
Right.
So,
And then there is no question of austerity.
because he's too advanced.
He's too advanced.
He's above rules and regulations.
There is no question of austerity. Austerity when you are humble. I need to some tapasya. I am already purified, I am already pure soul, then what can you do? You don't austerity required.
And because I read that pride destroys austerities, lack of austerities destroys compassion. Is there a succession in this?
Yeah.
From
See, like
purity to
yes. If there is no austerity and person is he is running after his senses, then he may engage in meditating also. Because engage in meditating, because for the pleasure of his tongue, he doesn't mind killing other animals. So you may like meat, but at what cost? How can you see others in pain and enjoy? So all these things are connected. Please reach 30 and 40.
The personality part, Kali asked for something more, and because of his begging, the king gave him permission to live where there is gold, because wherever there is gold, there is also falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, and enmity. Thus, the personality of Kali, by the directions of Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Putra, was allowed to live in those 5 places.
Yeah, so excess of gold generally means the money which is accumulated for the purpose of sense gratification. Otherwise, people may say, now we don't have any gold, we just have cash. Or not even cash, no, we have something in our accounts, virtual money. So, purpose or why money is given is when too much money is there, then people they want to spend money. So that is why when people are not Krishna conscious and money is there and their senses are astray, they don't engage in dharma, then automatically they engage in adharma. So you find in the families of especially Marwadis, so for generations together, they had a culture of not eating even onion garlic. Like in our family also, it's like Western UP side. So among the Western society, people don't take onion garlic. They take only food offered either in the fire or ladies. So very pure culture is there. But what happened is few generations back, because the spiritual education had stopped. 1 or 2 generations back. Now very few Marwadis are pure. Everywhere they are corrupt. Right? Even 10 years, 15 years back, when I was studying, I had we would have field works. So I had to go to different places. But I had no scarcity of prasad, because wherever I will go to Marwadi Basa, hotels by Marwadis, generally they offer to Lord Ram, or at least they allow you to offer. So they cook without onion and garlic, then I would take my altar, offer to the deities, and then take prasad. So I had no trouble in traveling in the whole of India, wherever I would go.
The Marwadi here.
But now currently last 5-6 years, 7 years, I saw in many Marwadi Vasas also they have allowed onion garlic, and some places in Bengal they even allow fish. They are corrupted. And the whole reason is previous generations, they would have Bhagavad Katha regularly at time to time, they would have Kirtans time to time. But because of this education, corrupted education, the younger generation lost faith in Vedic education or Vedic culture, and they are corrupted now.
What is the loss in education in India? But comparing to the previous generation now?
Now they are trying to change it. They have not yet changed, but till now, most of the books are written by communists. literature had spoiled, but even communists came in between, and they have the influence in India. They have influenced education, media, so they have a lot of influence.
Narendra Modi is a communist? Narendra Modi?
No, not. I'm saying Narendra Modi is trying to reform it.
Oh.
But in past 30, 40, 50 years, education in India was extremely corrupt. Like following these omens, children are taught that these are superstitions. They don't exist.
The Indians are superstitious?
Yes.
Okay.
Like we are talking now, this Yudhishthira Maharaj was seeing the omens. So they are considered superstition. That's taught from childhood. From the childhood they are taught that no, this caste system is very bad. They are not taught about Vedic Varnashram system. Even students who study arts and theology and history, they are taught that Varnashram is according to the skin color. It is such a stupid concept. They say Varna means color, so Varnashram means skin color. So those who are fair skinned people are Brahmanas, those who have red skin are called Kshatriyas, those who have yellow skin are called Vaisyas, and those who have black skin are called Sudras.
Yellow skin.
Like Chinese.
Those who have white skin are called Brahmanas. You are Brahmana.
Like you.
No, this is too fair skin.
Those who have red skin are called Kshatriyas. Those who have yellow skin are called Vaisyas, and those who have black skin are called Sudras.
Jagannath.
And that is what is taught in college books in India. Concept of Varnashram. Such a stupid concept which even a toddler in India knows that this cannot be right. But that is what is taught in the schools. It's such a corrupt education, you can't imagine.
This communism
Yeah.
was being taught during 40, 50 years. Where does it come from? English?
No. See, it came from Russia to China, and after China they wanted to conquer India.
Yes.
Oh, it's
Russia.
infiltration.
So, before physically ruling a country, they would try to change the education and influence the media of the country. So they did influence education and media, but before they could really overthrow like a democratic system in India or a capitalism in India, what had happened is they got approved from Russia. So they influenced the subtle minds of Indians. All they couldn't do much gross damage. So that is how it's like. Indians are told to hate their culture, look down upon their culture.
Really?
Yeah.
And you told since 6, 7 years it's changed? Or?
6, 7 years they have changed, but it is not yet implemented. Things have changed a lot nowadays. It's not like previously. Now, even our devotees, they can openly say that we are proud of Vedic culture. Now we can go to the colleges and we can directly introduce Bhagavad Gita and people read. Earlier we had to hide and give them different names. I personally have given sessions like Discover Yourself, like you have given. Then leading meaningful lives, positive thinker, self-manager. We would have all these names because we didn't have courage to say that no, we are teaching you something from Bhagavad Gita. But nowadays we tell Bhagavad Gita and students come and they hear, people come and they hear. So things have changed. But to implement anything in India takes a lot of time. You make a rule, you make the policy, you create the syllabus, and then even to implement it takes another 4, 5, 6 years.
So communism is still there in education?
Education is there. So as far as Prabhupada pre-approved, maybe in another 1-2 years, education in India will change. He was a part of the team who changed the syllabus. It is going to be pro-Vedic now.
Who is doing that?
There is one team of devotees. One of the devotees who is attending a Bhakti Shastri, Prabhupada pre-approved.
That old Prabhuji with sweater. Last 3-4 days he's not coming because he went to Delhi. You remember?
He comes in morning program.
Morning program he comes in every day.
कोई बात नहीं मिलाने से
They are part of the government education
Yes, yes.
and they can implement and change the.
Yeah, they have already changed. It is just going to get implemented.
Wow.
So it's going to be a big change in India, and it is going to create a very favorable atmosphere for preaching in India.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll come back.
30 years ago when I came to India, it was so different. Even when you're traveling and you go and visit people and do preaching activity. But now,
Those things are very favorable.
yes,
It's like you could proudly say that I am a Hare Krishna devotee.
yes.
You can do kirtans openly. So, effect of a ruler. Okay. Yes, please read now this one also. Translation purport. Already we are beyond time.
Therefore, whoever desires progressive well-being, especially kings, religionists, public leaders, brahmanas and sannyasis, should never come in contact with the four above mentioned irreligious principles. Purport: the brahmanas are the religious preceptors for all castes, and the sannyasis are the spiritual masters for all the castes and orders of the society. So also are the king and the public leaders who are responsible for the material welfare of all people. The progressive religionists and those who are responsible human beings, or those who do not want to spoil their valuable human lives, should refrain from all the principles of irreligiosity, especially illicit connection with women. If a Brahmin,
If a Brahmana is not truthful, all his claims as a Brahmana at once becomes null and void. If a sannyasi is illicitly connected with women, all his claims as a sannyasi at once becomes false. Similarly, if the king and the public leader are honestly proud or habituated to drinking and smoking, certainly they become disqualified to discharge public welfare activities. Truthfulness is the basic principle for all religions. The four leaders of the human society, namely the sannyasis, the brahmanas, the king and the public leader, must be tested crucially by their character and qualification. Before one can be accepted as a spiritual or material master of society, he must be tested by the above mentioned criteria of character. Such public leaders may be less qualified in academic qualification, but it is necessarily primarily that they are free from the contamination of the 4 disqualifications, namely gambling, drinking, prostitution and animal slaughter.
So if they are following four related principles. So Brahmanas is known for truthfulness. If he speaks a lie, how can you believe what he is speaking from scriptures? Sannyasi, if he have a illicit connection with women, then how is a sannyasi? Like in Bengal, they have this concept of Sevadasi. Sakhavati and Sevadasi is there. So there are sannyasi and there are sannyasins. You can have one sannyasin for 1 year. So they cannot be called as sannyasi. How can you have sannyasin for 1 year? So sannyasi has to be very pure in that sense. And those who are public leaders. So if they are too proud, smoking, drinking, they don't care for anyone, then they can't hear good advice from anyone. If you can't hear good advice from other people, how can you rule? How can you hear the problems of people? How can you feel the problems of people? And if you yourself are intoxicating, indulging in intoxication, then why the question of telling people not to be indulged in intoxication? Rather, leaders nowadays, many leaders are there, they promote intoxication. In one of the countries, those devotees were telling me that if you don't consume a certain amount of tobacco, then you are fined.
What?
It's getting recorded, I'll tell you later on. So, there are some places where you are fined if you don't consume a certain amount of tobacco. Just few years back,